following is a discussion with Ricardo Texeira. Ricardo Texeira has been a worldwide champion of karate 2 times, but more importantly, he's also a successful entrepreneur. He's helping thousands of people in Portugal to create and grow their business online. Before COVID, Ricardo believed that a physical office was the best way to gather a team, to make them exchange ideas and to make the team help grow the company. He even hired an architect to extend his office for a quoted price of 160,000 euros. COVID forced him to put his entire team of more than 20 people completely remotely, and since then he never looked back. In this interview, he's sharing how he did the transition, how he began to realize all the benefits that a full remote team gives. Let's go. Hello guys. So I'm with the unique, the only, the incredible Ricardo Texeira. How are you, Ricardo?
Woo!
So I think it's like the third interview I do of you.
Yeah.
And today I want to talk about something very interesting, because you basically switch from being a full believer in the physical office as an entrepreneur.
Yeah.
You were saying that, in your opinion, it was the best way to create a culture, have a good team that was like really working efficiently. And because of COVID, we'll talk about that, you had to completely switch,
change.
like 180 degree turn. And now you're like a full believer in remote.
Yeah.
So let's talk about that.
Let's go and talk.
First, what is your business?
So I usually say that I have 2 business, which is software and marketing, because I love to help Portuguese entrepreneurs to, build their business using the marketing online strategies, and this way design their lives. But yeah, that's mainly what I do.
Okay, so how many people did you have before COVID?
So before COVID, we were around 19, I think, 18, 19.
Okay.
19 people. And right now we are 29.
You are 29.
Or 30. We had another hire today, so 30.
And I remember that you were so much into your physical office that is in Coimbra, which is a city between Lisbon and Porto in Portugal, that you actually...
Which has an amazing university.
Yeah, I've heard. It's a private joke. It's a private joke, guys. And you hired an architect to design plans to expand the office, because you really wanted to have like the best offices possible.
And when COVID happened and the government sent us home, we were like a week to open the,
to sign the contract?
To sign the contract to build the new office.
So how much was the work?
It was around 160K.
160,000 euros.
Yes.
So you were really willing to invest in this.
And the way we were going to build was going to be awesome. We had a dream department. We had a place to take naps. We had a place to gym. It was really, really awesome. But COVID happened. We went home. We transformed completely our business from offline to online, like in 2 hours.
In 2 hours.
In 2 hours. And it was a great experience in terms of the team also, because they proved themselves that they could change very, very fast. And then we start to be online. Fortunately, we had tools like Zoom. So what we did immediately is we create on Zoom what we have on a physical office. So if we had like a room where was the support team, we create a room of support team. If we had like financial, we create a financial room using the feature of Zooms of the breakout rooms. And so we start to have people there, and then it starts to work out. And so
So it's just the beginning of COVID. You basically tell the team, okay, starting from now, you will all work from home.
Yeah.
All your team was based in Coimbra at the time, I guess.
Yeah.
And so in 2 hours, everyone uses computers and use Zoom to do meetings. And do you notice any, I'm sure the transition was not so easy. You said in 2 hours we were ready, but then I'm sure sometimes the processes were not good. Maybe you saw a drop in productivity.
No.
Not at all?
Not at all.
So,
not at all.
Oh, wow.
No, I have to be honest, not at all.
Wow.
And the reason why, it's very, very simple. People were traveling, I don't know, between 15 to 40 minutes to get into the office every day. Mm-hmm. So times 2, or times 3 sometimes because of the lunch.
Yeah.
And so they would not use that time. That's one. Second, they would not spend money with gas. Another one is we were more focused because we didn't have the distraction of people going by and say hi, and every time they would in the physical office, every time someone would get in, they would greet everyone, which was good, which was something that was really good, but it would interrupt our work. And so I saw immediately that the productivity was way better. Of course, there are a couple of things that we had to improve, like people were not ready to work at home, some of the people, so they had to take some of the chairs, for example, monitors, computers, stuff that they need to work at home. But the transition was really smooth. I was surprised.
I mean, so you were like the ultimate believer, and we had many conversations about that,
totally.
Because I'm fully remote. I don't have any office. So what did you experience any emotional like shock or like realization?
No, to be honest, no, nothing, because I felt completely free. Like, okay, now I'm at home, and also I had kids with they were like, I don't know, 6 years old, twins, so I could be next to them. So I would like close the virtual office, and 1 second later I was with my kids and with my wife. And also we were in quarantine, so we didn't feel like, okay, I have to get out. So I think that quarantine also helped us to figure out what were the process that we need. Of course, in the physical office, there are a couple of things that are still way better. There are some kind of things that the speed, the way we interact is faster. But then we start to figure out what kind of software we could use to fill the gap. Like, for example, a whiteboard. We can have the whiteboard, a shared whiteboard, when everyone shares the things in the whiteboard, like we did before in the flip chart. And also we have a kind of whiteboards in the office. And so we try to simulate that. Of course, the one thing that was, and it's still a challenge, is the culture of the company. The culture of the company is always a challenge.
So before talking about that, so you have now a virtual whiteboard where everyone can share. So it's like a brainstorming, continuous brainstorming. Okay. Let's talk about the kids because so that's a great advantage of working from home. As you say, you stop the work, you are with the kids, but sometimes the kids maybe they invade. Your office.
Which is a big issue.
You have a specific room in your.
Right now, no. That's why I'm moving to a new home, because again, that's another thing that is happening, is a lot of people realize that their flats, their home was not ready to work at home. Because of that. The people are working at home, and suddenly they have the kids getting into the office or into the the place where they are. They have people like, I don't know, mother-in-law or the wife or the husband, that they are not used to that kind of work, so they get in and they speak like someone is not working. And so the environment has to be disciplined. So there was there were a lot of challenges, and still today I see some challenges. Sometimes I'm in a meeting with my team, and suddenly one of the team members have a kid talking to him, or someone talk to him, and interrupts our thought. That can happen for sure.
Okay, so you had to tell your family to stop doing that. Was it working?
Well, more or less.
I mean, especially small kids like.
With twins, and now it's 3 years old. It's always a challenge. But I usually put post-its in my in the what do you call the door?
Okay.
The front door, and also the door where the place I'm working, so they know that I'm doing something that I cannot be interrupted.
Okay.
But the other thing is, and in relation to the audience, for example, when I'm doing like webinars and all those sort of things, people start to be more forgiveness. You know, they had more forgiveness about everything that would
Obviously.
happen.
Yeah.
And so that was a really, really good thing. And at the same time, people realized in my team that they could wake up and like 10 minutes after, they could be in front of the computer.
So they could sleep later.
Yes, sleep later.
No need to commute.
No need to to dress.
Yeah, only the upper.
Only the
you
upper
put a
side.
t-shirt,
Whatever
and then
is
you have
down
your
there.
Mickey underwear.
Yeah, whatever is down there, we don't care.
Okay.
So yeah, it worked. And also the other thing is, a lot of our clients, they didn't like to have remote meetings. And from that date, which was 12th of March, on that date, they start to have, remote meetings. And so suddenly it starts to be, something very normal. And today it's something really, really normal,
Yeah.
So we saved also a lot of trips. I used to travel at least, even inside Portugal, from Coimbra to Lisbon, like every, I don't know, 2 days a week.
For what?
For meetings.
But with who? Customers?
Yeah, customers, partners.
And then also the customers started to do Zoom.
Exactly.
Yeah,
so there was all the society also helped. So I cannot say like, if I would do before, I think I would have more challenge. I think COVID also helped us to change the mindset of our clients, our partners, and at the same time helped us to change our mindset also.
So so you had increase in productivity because of these, no commute, more focus, but also some frictions because of the kids. You were not the only one with kids, I guess. No specific room in the flat. But basically, it was a very positive experience for you.
No, it was. If I would put like in a balance, I would say 90% to 10% of something that I could do in physical that I don't do in remote. But the freedom that creates is amazing. The freedom that creates is really, really amazing. Because now I feel like, okay, I'm here in US right now. I don't care,
Yeah, we're in Durango, Colorado right now.
Yeah, so it's no big deal. It's no big deal. When we have a physical office, we still have to worry who is going to open the office. When they close, do they, turn on the alarm? Do they, there is always that logistic side, which is also a pain in the ass.
And also, I mean, you need to manage if there are problems like inundations or I don't know, And that's something else.
And then the
servers,
something
less to
servers, everything that goes around, all the logistic and the building and all the sorting.
So many stuff to care to not have to care about anymore, which is
and less
liberating.
expenses.
I mean, that's why I was remote. I have been remote for like 12 years now. It's mostly for freedom. So now you feel it. So okay, you said you have you see more productivity. How do you measure it?
That's a good question. The way I measure is we set goals. We set goals and we see the goals to accomplish faster and way better. Now I have to put like how can I say PS, which is I'm seeing that goals accomplished very fast in the marketing side. In the development side, I don't see the faster, but I see that the developers are happier because. So 1 year after we being, at home, we did a survey to our team. We did a survey saying, "Hey, do you feel like returning to the office?" Because there was a kind of a talk in the society to return to the office. And so we did a survey. Do you want to, come to the office again? And 99% of the people said no.
So just one guy said no.
Just one person said that she would like to return.
Okay, that's very interesting. So, but maybe it's because maybe because they feel more productive. Maybe also because they just like the convenience.
Yeah.
And let's talk about because I don't think it's for everyone.
No. Yeah. Of course.
Because I mean, for example, some people are. I don't know, kind of introvert, kind of shy, and they need the automatic like socialization that the office brings. Yeah. And maybe they don't have many friends in their life.
True.
So maybe they can feel very lonely.
Yeah. There is another thing. Some of the people told me like they would use the time that they were in the car to think about things or just to wake up. or just to go to a cafe and take something, and that part would help them to
Be more creative.
And also we also realized that there were a couple of people that got more weight because they wouldn't move a lot.
Many people gain weight during COVID.
Yes.
Yeah.
So they wouldn't move a lot. So what we did is we introduced yoga. So we have yoga online. We hired the teacher that every Wednesday at 9:30 gives a yoga class on Zoom.
That's awesome.
Now we are thinking also for a PT, personal trainer, so you can give
during office hour.
Yeah, during office hours. If anyone wants, they can have access to yoga and training, and we are thinking a little bit more, But of course, even though we are totally remote, we have at least 4 times in the year that we get together. So we still have those conversation. We still have
but so you only see now yourself together for physically 4 times a year.
Yeah, 4 times a year, the whole team.
The whole team.
We have a couple of times more where we have some departments that join together.
But so what about these persons who voted no? She felt lonely or not happy?
No, she adapted.
She adapted, okay.
She just adapted, okay. Because she felt like when she was working outside, she would go to the gym, she would do more stuff outside, and now she's inside, she doesn't feel like getting out too much, which she felt it was bad for her. But yeah, she adapted. Basically, she adapted. I think it's a question also of habits. We have to build habits, and also now in relation to the culture, we have to also incentivize people to get out, to feel like they can work wherever they need also. So they can go anywhere, they can work from the beach, they can work from the countryside, whatever. But I think that's a process. They are not still there. Some of the people are there, but they are not still there.
Right now they are still doing the tradition, but the tradition is not mandatory anymore. So you said all your team was in Coimbra before, and now it's not the case anymore. So is it because the new hires were elsewhere, or because some members of the old team also moved?
Well, both.
Okay.
We had 2 or 3 people that had home in Coimbra, and now they return to the original home.
All right.
And now when we are hiring, we don't, because before we would hire, but we would say, okay, you have to come to Coimbra. Okay. So from other cities, and that would limit our pool of people that we could hire.
Of course.
Now, it's the world, basically.
You need people to speak Portuguese.
Yes, but it's the world. If they are in Paris, we can hire we were
there are
talking
many Portuguese
again.
in Paris.
But that's a possibility. And right now we have 10 cities. The people that we have, the last count was 10 cities.
Portugal?
In Portugal.
But you still don't have anyone outside of Portugal yet?
No, not yet. We have a company that works with us, but it's like freelancers in Brazil. But most of the people, not most, the people are from different cities, different traditions also, different ways of speaking. Plus, even though Portugal is a small country, they speak different
accents,
different accents, and so it's really cool. At the same time, it's really cool, really interesting, And what we are doing right now is reducing the mandatory time that they have to be on Zoom.
Because there is a mandatory time.
Yes, there is a mandatory time. Why? It's simple. We have to have times where we have to be together. Like developers, they need to be together sometimes to exchange ideas, and that has to be in real time. It cannot be Slack or Microsoft Teams. That's what you use. It cannot be. It cannot be asynchronous. It has to be synchronous. So, and some of the meetings that we have. We need the people to be there, and also people from the team need to know which time they can speak. Of course, they can grab the phone and talk if it is something urgent, but that's a way also to give some discipline and also to do a transition in a responsible way, because it's new for everyone. So some of the people, they don't know exactly how to deal with, because you've been, online and remote with the remote teams for 12 years, but you have already, your mindset, everything ready. Now they were pushed to it.
Yeah.
So
and it's interesting because you had to be forced.
Yes.
To do it, and you wouldn't have imagined you could do the transition in 2 hours.
Yeah.
It's like crazy, huh?
It is crazy.
And I think great. And COVID really forced many people to realize
it's a little bit. It's not a very good comparison, but it's almost like when you say to someone that is smoking, that has a lung cancer, it would stop immediately.
Yeah.
It's almost the same thing. It's like, okay, you have to transition. Okay, what can we do? And we transition immediately. Of course, right now we have tools that are really amazing.
If it was like 30 years ago, it would have been harder.
If it was like 10 years, 13 years, it was really hard, because we had, like, for example, we still have a physical server still yet, because we have like legacy tools there. So we have to deal with VPNs, we have to deal with remote desktop, all the security side. How can we protect the code? How can we, people at home use their own computers and still be safe? So there are a lot of stuff. How can we, still have the security in relation to the password and what they have access? Because now everything's in the cloud, and so how can we guarantee that the things don't get hacked? And so there are a lot of things that people don't realize when we go to remote, and so
Okay. So So overall, the experience has been really overwhelmingly positive. I think it's the first time I pronounced this word, actually.
I cannot say that word.
You don't see yourself like opening an office for any reason in the future?
Well, I see not opening like an office like before, but I see myself opening a place where we can have gatherings of the meeting.
Oh, okay, so it's not an office.
Gatherings of the team, and maybe like a co-working space. But I see a place where we can gather the team. It has some rooms to, sleep overnight or something. But
interesting.
Yeah, I see that.
It's a bit like in prehistoric time when the tribes were wandering, but they still had some semi-fixed place.
Exactly.
Where they still will hang out and stuff. Interesting.
And I think it's important. Listen, we are in a mastermind. We all return. In June. We all return to the headquarters.
So just to give some context, we are here in Durango for a mastermind, which is like how can I say? Like, it's like entrepreneurs gathering to exchange ideas and good practices and this kind of stuff. And we're going to the headquarters, which is like the secret headquarters of the creator of the mastermind, Jeff Walker. It's true. It's like it's like the place where we go every year. It's true.
Exactly.
It's nice. Even Durango.
And so I think it's important to have like a place where we identify ourselves and a place that we can return. It happens to everything. If you think a little bit more, you said about like the tribes, the Indians, but if you think about religion, or if you think about martial arts, or there is always a place where you can return and identify yourself. And so I think it's important in terms of the culture side.
Interesting. Well, in your case, it can work because everyone is in Portugal, and Portugal is not so big. In the US, for example, it would be harder.
Yes.
And with me, I mean, my team is all over the world, like from Quebec to UK to Morocco to Japan.
We have that discussion, but I think with you, it's different. Because you have freelancers. And freelancers is different from people that you are hired completely, and it's part of your payroll. It's not a freelancer, even though it's a different mindset. Like, for example, our mentor, Jeff, he had some challenge right now because during COVID, they could not be together. And so the culture side, it's more difficult, like the DNA that we want to. Okay, let me give you an example. For example, in my company, we have the DNA of my company comes from me, of course, and I have this kind of energy and don't give up. Quitting is not an option. Those kind of things that I want to transmit to my team, it's only possible if I'm with them. If I'm just slacking or something, it's impossible to put that. Like, and we had like 2 or 3 people that got COVID. Okay, if it was with not our culture, what they would do, they would like submit a leave. They would stay at home saying that they are sick. Maybe they weren't. They are sick. No, we had people with COVID that were working. I'm okay, so I'm working.
Okay.
Oh, I have a little headache, but I'm still working.
Well, but also, I mean, the thing is with freelancers, I mean, it's not a debate about that, but it's also interesting. So let's talk about that. But with freelancers, you attract only people who are autonomous already, driven, and who likes freedom. And
True.
So you're working with entrepreneurs, and I think, I mean, if someone has COVID and cannot work, I don't think it's gonna work. But as a freelancer, more often than not, if he feels he have the energy to work, he's gonna work.
Yeah, true.
So I agree that it has disadvantages too.
Yeah. I think it's the terms of the culture, the cultural side. Because if you want someone to think about your business, the freelancer is not gonna. Well, in general, I'm not. There is always exceptions, but in general, he's not gonna think about your business. You are giving him something to do. He does it. He measures the time and he bills you. That's it. With a team.
Yeah, but it's not different. I have freelancers who have been working for me for more than 10 years.
That's what I'm saying.
Some of them could be like employees.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying.
It's just because they are different countries, so it's just better to be freelancers.
For sure. And our goal is to have the best people. It's not a question of being in Portugal. It's having the best people. But I try to have Portuguese as much as possible. In the developer team, I can have, Ukrainian, Americans, whatever. We need developers for that. But for the marketing team, we still are targeting always Portuguese. But like we were discussing offline, it can be, wherever they are. So
what if you find like a really amazing Portuguese-speaking profile who is not Portuguese and lives, I don't know, in Iceland?
Well, if he speaks really, really well Portuguese, then we can understand. That's no big deal.
I think also it's like step by step.
Yeah.
You open your chakras to these, and maybe in 5 years we'll do an interview. We'll be I have people all around the world.
And for sure, because it's not only me. So I have to be a little bit the mirror of the team, because the team has to be pushed on that. So if I make all the transition that I want, and the team doesn't doesn't go with you, then you have a gap. And so all of those transitions have to be done with the team. Of course, I'm always pushing my team. Trying to have different ways of thinking, different tools, testing tools. Like for example, we were doing a test with GatherTown. I don't know if you know GatherTown.
No.
So GatherTown, you have like an office, a virtual office, and you are walking around like an avatar, like you were in a game, And when you cross, it turns on the webcams. You can see each other, and then you go walk. So it's a kind of it's a kind of multiverse. It's a kind of a multiverse. And so we have the opportunity to test those kind of things. And I think, to be honest, that before COVID, there were a couple softwares to help the remote teams, but they were not really, really good.
Okay.
I think even that, it helped to transform the tools.
So what are the tools you are using? So Zoom?
Zoom, Microsoft Teams.
Okay, Teams.
What else? Whiteboard.
The name is Whiteboard.
Yeah, okay. Whiteboard. What else? Of course, there are some tools that we are using for invoicing, accounting.
No, but I mean really for the collaboration. Do you use Asana?
Yeah, we use Asana.
Asana, okay, for the task?
For tasks, for the marketing team. Like for example, for developers, we don't use that. We use the DevOps.
So you don't use Slack because you use Teams, right?
We use Teams, yeah.
So doesn't Teams and Asana overlap a bit?
No, but there is an app inside Teams which is called Planner that could use Asana, but it's not for now it's not.
So it's really two separate tools.
Yeah, separate tools. But it's not, well, to be honest, it's not totally separate because Asana integrates Microsoft Teams.
Okay, all right.
So
okay, and so what about the meetings? You do meetings every day? Everyone does meetings every day? So you
we
do
have Scrum.
Okay, Scrum. So you do a Scrum with the whole team every morning?
I don't do it. It's my team that does it.
Okay, great. So you just enjoy the kids.
Yeah.
Okay.
No, so I still have a lot of some meetings, but what I usually do more meetings when I have a launch or something, something big happening. But even the meetings we reduce a lot. We have been reducing a lot. What I'm doing, like for example, on Monday, I have something that I call the key power moment. The key power moment, which is I speak to all the team. The whole team is there. They are not in the breakout rooms. They are there, and I speak about the theme. Like for example, I choose proactive, being proactive, and I talk about that being proactive. What do I want, and what's my definition, and what are the things that I would love people to be proactive so they can improve their job. So I talk about 15 minutes, and by the end I ask two people in different departments to share their victories from the last week, and this way people know what the people are, what each department is doing, and we have a moment of together. So, yeah, and it builds relationship.
Okay. Yeah. So this also is a difference between you and me. I don't do meetings at all.
Yeah.
I mean, some people in my team do meetings together, but it's very rare. So okay, interesting. So you know how many hours you spend per week on meetings?
On meetings, I would say myself.
Yeah.
Oh, myself. It depends. It depends if I'm in a launch or not.
Yeah, but let's say like typical week.
Yeah, a typical, I would say like 5 hours.
Okay, 5 hours. Yeah, and so also you told me before the interview that you basically reduce also the number of hours.
Yep.
You went from what to what?
So before I was working probably between 60 to 70 hours.
Wow.
I would go from probably at 9:30 to the office, and I would leave 9:30.
Wow! Before the kids.
Before the kids, yes. Before the kids.
Yeah. And you were working.
Even with the kids, I was leaving the office at like 8 sometimes. Okay. And then after COVID, I start to work at 10, and I leave at 5:30, so I can pick up the kids. And then I play with the kids like 2 hours, and then they have dinner, and then I might work a little bit more, like half an hour, and of course we had that discussion. It depends on the definition of work, because if we define as being in front of computer, I think right now I'm working between 30 to 35 hours.
And so you think it's mostly because of going from the office to remote?
Well, I think it's two things.
Okay.
First is going from the office to remote, and second to have twins.
Okay.
When you have twins, the time is shorter. Even though I have two nannies, one comes in the morning, another one comes at night, but they still ask for your attention. And so when I was and during COVID, when we were in quarantine, we couldn't have a nanny, so it was me and my wife with the kids. So the time was cut in 50%. So I have to ask, how can I optimize my time? How can I produce the same result with less time? And to be honest, it was not the same result. I doubled the result.
Wow. So it's amazing. So you multiply by 4 your results.
Exactly.
Half the time and twice the results.
Yes.
So
it was pretty amazing. On those 2 years, we doubled the results. So it was.
So really, COVID for you was a blessing. Plus the twins too.
Yeah.
And so before COVID and the twins, you also were working during the weekends.
Yes.
And now do you still work during the weekends?
Well, it's tough to work in the weekends because as they get old, right now they are 3 years old, they speak, now they interact, we see the development. I see when I speak or I teach something to them, I see the synapse working, I see their brains working, I see they're talking, watching and seeing, and that's very funny, that's impressive. And so during the weekends, I at least on Saturday or Sunday I dedicate totally with them. So we are with them, and then maybe on Sunday or Saturday, depends on also on my parents. We leave them there, and we have like, I don't know, 3-4 hours just for me and my wife to have to go to the cinema or, you know, to do something together. And so during the weekends right now, I don't work too much or nothing. I might do some work after between, like, I don't know. Sometimes it depends on the kids getting into sleep. Sometimes I might work like 1 hour or 2 hours by the end of the day.
Okay.
Yeah, because
Right.
usually I like on Sundays to plan my week.
But so it's way better than before. But
Oh,
don't
yeah.
you think that sometimes to work from home, it's blur the difference, the distinction between personal and professional life?
Yes, if you don't have the right space.
Okay. Yeah. So
I
it's
think
important
it's
to have
really
to have
important.
one room for to
Yes.
work.
It's really, really important.
I remember when I came to your home, you were working in the kitchen.
Yeah.
I mean the living room.
Yeah,
In the living room.
Yes,
Yeah.
living room.
In the living room.
Yeah, I'm still in the living room, but what happens is the living room is an L, and so I work-
It's like a semi room.
exactly. So
Yeah,
I-
but still it's not
still
private.
living
You
room,
could
it's not
put like
private. We thought about that. I thought about putting like a door there with a glass or something, but then we decided to move from a new home, so now the new home is way bigger.
So the new home is also in Coimbra?
Yeah.
So
also in Coimbra.
why Coimbra? You could go anywhere in
Yeah,
Portugal
true,
now. So
true.
why did you decide to stay in Coimbra?
One is a big reason, which is our parents.
Okay, yeah, no, so it's enough. Okay, it's
Yeah,
enough.
our
Yeah.
parents. It's tough to manage. Even when I'm here.
Because maybe, I mean, Coimbra is a very nice small city,
small city.
not polluted.
No.
But I'm thinking like, for example, people living in Paris who now can work remote, they don't need to live in Paris anymore. It's very expensive,
Totally.
it's very noisy.
Well, we are noticing people that are getting out of Lisbon, for example. They are getting out of Lisbon and they are going to the interior of Portugal, which was a kind of
It's like the
leftover.
countryside, yeah.
They are going to the countryside. Why? Because they can get bigger houses with less money.
Yeah, obviously. And everything costs less.
Yes. So that's another good thing because
Yeah.
you know, one of my students just bought a house, a big house in the middle of nowhere, because he still has access to internet, which is enough, and then in the middle of nowhere for, you know, a pennies. And so that would not happen before COVID. So yeah, it was a great thing.
Awesome. So anything else you want to talk about?
Yes, well, there are a couple things that are also important. So I spoke a little bit about culture. So you have to be aware that culture is really important.
Okay, how do you define culture? Because for most people it can be very like...
It's principles, rules, and maybe a code that helps people to manage their behavior inside the company.
Okay.
So if we define that everyone is responsible for retain customers, everyone has to have that mindset and not like, oh, that's the other department that works on it. So there are a lot of things that deals with the.
So it can be seen
behaviors.
as a mindset, the collective
also.
mindset of
Yeah.
the company.
Yeah.
Like customer first, or okay.
Yeah.
Awesome.
But it's really, really important. Even the way, you know, people deal with emotions or deal with a fight, for example. We have something in our code that talks about how to deal with fights.
So see, in 10 years, in 12 years, I had 0 fight in my team. I think also that's what about remote. People will say, yeah, but with remote you don't have the human interaction, and it's true, it's not as good, but also you have less friction.
True, which is good and bad at the same time.
Yeah.
It's good we don't have that friction, but it's bad because the retention of the people in our team.
Nah, my turnover is 0, man.
Yeah.
So no, but why? Because also there is no office hours.
Yes.
So they can work at any time they want. So they love it, and they love the freedom.
You don't have clients that call you.
No. Yeah. You know.
So it's a big difference.
No, yeah, big time. I mean, I could have 1 or 2 people or more answering customers' phone.
But once you have that, it's a new set of problems.
No, they can work from home. I mean, I just need someone
know.
in the right time zone.
Yeah, but you still have to manage those. And you have to have a manager to manage that. And you have to look to the
I mean,
NPS.
we are 30 people in the team right now, and not everyone is working full time. But and have a manager for that. I mean, I don't know. I think it has its problem. I'm not saying it's perfect.
Yeah.
It's not. But also, I think most people think of this setup with a lot of belief that
True.
they didn't try.
True.
So
True. I think it depends on the type of the business. If your business still can be supported by asynchronous, right?
Yes. So asynchronous, it means we actually actively discourage real-time conversations.
Yeah.
We try to use Asana most of the time.
Yeah.
To not do meetings and.
Exactly. But for us, like if we have a live in-person event, or if we have a live event, we have our team managing the live event. If we have like doing a launch and we are doing a masterclass using 10 accounts of Zooms, we have to have someone to deal with the Zoom. We have to talk directly, immediately, not asynchronous. So I think it depends on the business.
You still have office hours?
We still have office hours.
So it's 9 to...
No. They have like 4.5, 5 hours that they have to be there. So usually like 2 hours in the morning and 2.5 hours in the afternoon.
To do the scrum and...
to do the scrum.
And then they organize themselves.
They organize themselves what they want.
Okay.
And even, of course, if they want to leave or if they want to do something, we have someone that is responsible, the human resource, that deals with that. So I don't deal with that.
So do you use like a software to track their time? Yes.
Yeah.
So
not track time. I don't track time at all.
Okay.
I don't track time at all. I used to do that a couple of years ago, but I don't track time at all. What we do is goals. That we have goals to accomplish.
So it's like me, okay.
And that's it. But the other thing that is really important, that it became more and more important when in remote, is this tool.
Okay.
This tool is really, really important because they can be outside without the computer and still work if they want.
Okay.
Because most of the tools, they work here.
Okay.
So we have Asana here.
Yeah, true.
We have Microsoft Teams here.
They can do Zoom
we have
calls.
Office here.
Office?
Yeah, Office, PowerPoint,
oh my God, but
Word, whatever.
I would so much hate to write something on Word with that.
But if you need to check something,
yeah.
It happens to me sometimes. Like for example, I had 2 people working in the same PowerPoint to do a presentation for an offer. I was, just seeing here. I was not dealing with it, like changing things, but I was seeing it. Oh, it is okay or not, and giving feedback. So again, also the tools like WhatsApp or Voxer or Messenger or Telegram, all of those tools, we also deal with this. Or the clients like Community, Facebook, all of those things that we use in our programs, it can be managed here. So even if the people are not in Zoom, the only rule is they have to be available to answer here.
Okay.
That's the only thing.
All right. So if someone wants to leave Portugal and go to another country, he can, but he has to stay in a time zone that is not too far away. Like I don't know, minus or plus 3 hours?
I would say even 5 hours. I think
5 hours?
I think 5 hours is doable.
Okay, maybe a bit extreme, but
yeah, it's the limit.
I mean, already
it's the limit.
Plus or minus 3 hours, you have the whole Europe, Africa.
Yeah, it depends on the
a bit of Brazil.
It depends on the department. Like for example, we do the Scrum at 2:15 p.m.
Oh, so it's pretty flexible, yeah.
So 2:15 p.m. you can,
Yeah.
You still have a time zone that is, but if you work like and you are interacting with the clients, with our students in our programs, they are most in Portugal. So if we have like office hours with them in the morning,
yeah.
if he's in Australia, it's a problem, right? So
yeah, Australia is a bit too far away.
Yeah.
But if he goes to like Morocco, it's the same time zone. If he goes to South Africa,
South Africa,
it's far away, but it's almost the same time zone, so it doesn't matter.
Yeah.
Iceland, a bit like the northeast of Brazil.
No, I think I would say the 4 or 5 hours is the...
Imagine all the countries you can choose from. It's like 100. More than 100.
Totally.
Yeah. Okay. Interesting. So you will be open to it.
Oh yeah, oh yeah.
All right, Ricardo. So now
Yeah.
you're happy, fully remote guy.
Totally. I'm not returning back. And again, the other thing that I'm seeing is probably in a couple of years I'm gonna live somewhere, outside Portugal. Probably.
Outside Portugal.
Yeah.
Where? You know?
No idea.
Okay.
No idea. Probably what I would do is travel around the world a little bit with my wife and the kids.
Awesome.
Yeah,
Awesome.
So yeah.
I have some friends who plan to buy a boat and do like a world tour with a boat.
Yeah, not a boat.
No, you want like a good plane.
Yeah, I would prefer. Yeah.
Okay, awesome. Thank you, Ricardo, for sharing these and Kiai.
Yeah, Kiai.
If you are still here, it's probably because you liked this video. You're probably part of the only 5% of people who watch it until the end. If it's the case, feel free to assassinate the like button just below and feel free to share it with a friend you may know who also think a physical office is the only way to go. Maybe this video will open his chakras. See you soon in the next video. Meanwhile, don't forget, be intelligent, be rebel, and be part of the people who try new things. Ciao.